Our mission is to be the operating system of television, and we're currently the #1 streaming platform with millions of active accounts and billions of hours streamed. And we see our ad business really focusing around 3 key pieces. The first is that streaming is mainstream. According to Nielsen, more than 1 in every 10 TV minutes is now coming from an internet-connected device. That's more than double what it was just 2 years ago. Second, what that really means for advertisers is there's a key opportunity to drive incremental reach, to capture that audience of cord cutters, light TV viewers that are really hard to find on a traditional TV plan. And 3, we've really tried to build an ad product around that audience to create advertising with light ad loads, engaging interactive experiences that bring the best of TV, the branding and safety of the living room screen, with the best of digital, the attribution, the targeting, the measurement, and that's really come together as streaming has continued to grow. We announced a suite called Roku Add Insights, and it's a module of 4 tools that are all tightly integrated and can be mixed and matched. I think to take a step back, one of the things that I think distinguishes Roku from other streaming platforms in the space is that we've really leaned into measurement, both third-party measurement through our integrations with Nielsen, ComScore, and other ad effectiveness and ROI-based measurement providers, as well as building out our own capabilities. And the thesis really behind that is measurement's essential to moving OTT forward within the media and advertising space. Roku Ad Insights, again, kind of made up of 4 main pieces. The first is Reach Insights, which is all about quantifying only both what's that incremental reach that you get on streaming TV compared to your linear TV buy. Tune-in Insights, which really expands to content owners that are promoting their own content. So if you're running a promo for a show on Roku, what's the lift on traditional TV? Or if you watch a promo on traditional TV, what's that lift back on streaming? Cord Cutter Insights is all around this growing audience on our platform and trying to understand, 1, how can you just target and reach that audience? And then 2, what sort of insights can we provide about who those folks are and validate that your one-to-one targeting actually reached that cord cutter cohort? And then the last piece is what we call Survey Insights, which is really opening up our user base and being able to provide access to understand how these folks think, who they are, what they like, how they receive and interact with advertising. And we've actually built an on-device survey unit. So you can, as a brand, ask questions to Roku viewers on the TV screen, which we're really excited about. I think underlying all of these things, we think we have kind of a few unique assets that make us really well primed to help solve some of these really challenging measurement issues in the marketplace. The first is that we have registration data about our users, which helps identify who these households actually are. We have streaming data about the OTT side of Roku, so what channels and ads folks are seeing. And then we also, through ACR, have the option on our TV sets to understand the linear TV program and ad viewing. So when you take each of these assets together, it provides a really compelling toolkit to understand what are folks actually doing in the space and how can a brand really figure out how to best interact with them. We've started to work with more than a dozen brands who are currently taking advantage of Roku Ad Insights. I think the key value here and the genesis of this was a lot of sort of the 101 conversations we would have is what are really the offerings in advertising and streaming? Who are these folks? What sort of measurement exists? And now these 201 conversations that the really leaned in brands are taking is, how do I make the most of the investment I have here? What's the point at which that first dollar in OTT works harder than that last dollar on traditional TV or in another portion of the media plan? I think for us, the goal here is if you're a brand who is leaned into the future of TV, if you're a brand that's passionate about figuring out how consumers interact with streaming television, and if you're a brand that's interested in working with the data, then we want to give you a flashlight to look not just 5 feet, but 100 feet down the road of what's actually going on here and how do you tailor your media message and your targeting tactics to be able to make the most of it. Measurement's a real challenge for the industry, and it has been for a while. And our goal is we want to be and do our part to help solve that challenge. We've done so by integrating with third-party partners like Nielsen, ComScore, to provide audience guarantees in OTT the same way it exists in traditional television. We've leaned into ad effectiveness with folks like Millward Brown and others to understand what drives brand lift in the space. And then we've also leaned into ROI and attribution to help folks identify, control exposed, what ads actually drive somebody to go out into the store or onto the digital shelf and buy a product. We really feel strongly that we're in a really well-primed and in a strong space to solve these challenges for brands and to help them make the most of not only how OTT works, but also what tactics, what creative, what messaging and media plans are strongest in the space, and help them not just solve how do I advertise on Roku, but how do I advertise in OTT overall. I think on our end, we're really excited about the space. It's growing really quickly, and as linear TV continues to decline and streaming continues to grow, it's an incredible opportunity for brands to really lean in and figure out what works best in the space, and we feel well primed to be the partners to help them do that.